Hi everyone. So I wanted to make this video. It's been a long time since I've made a video by myself. And I just wanted to say hi, and I had this thing that I wanted to talk about. So if you're new, please subscribe and hit the bell notification. So as you know, it's the beginning of a new year. It's 2025. We're in January. And what I wanted to talk to you about today was that you might have seen this meme going around, which talks about how this the Western calendar, like how we begin the new year now in the month of January. It's not actually the new year, and it's not aligned with nature. So I thought I'd make a video about this because sharing my thoughts on this and some other sort of related things. It's might be a bit of a ramble, this video, but basically, I wanted to say to those viewers who may not have heard of this concept before, or are just feeling this, because I know right now, when the new year begins, like with the Western calendar, it's actually the winters happening, right? So it's actually not aligned with nature, this calendar, and it was changed, I think, by Julius Caesar. And they say that the reasons were political, because all of these different leaders, they wanted to have these months named after them. And if you think about it, even like the month of September, that's sept, like 7, oct, 8 October. Like October is not the 8th month, right? In the Western calendar, it's the 10th month, and December should be 10, but it's actually the 12th in sorry, this calendar. So things have very deliberately, how energies work, like these lower energies, they work through these various people, these various leaders who could make a difference. And or you can say that the vibration of the earth was lower, and that was changed. So the original calendar, the original way that people used to follow things, was changed. So for example, in Vedic astrology, in Indian astrology, the new year begins when the sign of Aries comes in, when it's Aries season, which is a few months into the year. And that's when spring starts as well. So it's like winter is the time for rest. So you may not be feeling this momentum to just start going right now. And now is the time when these ideas must be coming in, these hints for the new, for this new cycle. And I just wanted to bring home this message that if that's what you're feeling, you should stay with those feelings, because it's the time to sort of absorb, it's the time to be still, and it's the time to receive. It's not so much of a focus on implementation. Of course, that doesn't mean you're not acting at all. But we have to be aligned with nature, because when we're aligned with nature, that is when the highest manifests itself for us. Because it's like if you're out of sync with the rhythm of the earth, with the rhythm of nature, as with this calendar, the Western calendar, then it's like your whole being becomes out of sync. You're telling yourself, it's like an orientation that happens at a subconscious level, and then we implement it physically and everything. And I wanted to talk about this with regards to watches as well. I've never heard anybody else say this, but this is just something I instinctively knew. Like, you wear these wrist watches, right? That's what everybody does. Like, on your wrist, there is this machine that keeps the time, and it's like it literally is on your pulse. So there is this natural pulse that you have that is aligned with Mother Earth and her rhythms, and of nature. And then you're wearing something else on top of it, which also, like, there's this vibration, this pulsation that happens when the watch goes tick 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 tock or whatever. And that is sort of messing with your natural rhythm. It's like there's this natural pulse that you have, and you're supposed to create from it, you're supposed to breathe from it, you're supposed to live from it. And then there's something else messing up that rhythm. It's like listening to two songs, they'll clash at the same time, right? So that's what I feel, that these things we have to be careful. And it's not as if I mean, the other side of this, though, is that we live in this world. We do live in this material world. We live in this world where we're surrounded by people, we're surrounded by society and a particular system that they follow, that maybe they feel is right. So we can't completely be aloof from it either. But we, when we are on the path of ascension, we have to sort of the main thing that we're doing is that we are aligning ourselves with our internal rhythms, with our internal feelings. Sorry about that noise. I'm actually in a cafe. It's this really nice cafe or restaurant in New Delhi where I live, and it's completely plant-based, which we have a lot of vegan options in the city, but there are not that many restaurants that are completely vegan. So I've come here to check it out, and I came here once before. Oops. After my music class, I learn opera. Um, which is another reason I've been busy. I've had concerts all of last year where I heavily got back into singing opera again. Maybe, on this channel, I might post some videos of myself performing. Let me know if that's something you'd like to see. Otherwise, please check out my Instagram profile, soprano.shruti, on Instagram, and that's where you'll find videos of me singing, which is also something I love to do. Um, anyway, that's another topic for another time. Um, so yeah, I wanted to say to my viewers that take note of how your body is feeling internally, and the structures that society has put up for you and what it expects you to follow. We can't always just do away with it, or let's say if you go to work and they're following a certain cycle and it has to do with um, the structures of society, which it always does. Um, we have to sort of incorporate a bit of that, and we have to really, if I have to say in one line, your body will tell you what is right. Some people won't even have like a regular job because they're not meant to be aligned with that. Some people like me were meant to be, very much at this phase in my life anyway, in society and affecting society from within in this way. So we all have different missions. It's really about the mission, and it's a very personal mission that source fulfills through you, and that source sort of ignites in you. It's like this flame of desire, flame of passion that ignites in you, which is the passion of the Christ, they call it as well, which doesn't have to do with religion. It's just a vibration, and it's that internal fire that guides you, and that internal fire then gives life to this body as well. It resides in this body, or you can say, this body is made of it. In a sense, that spark creates everything, and so that is what sets up, everything, your heartbeat, your pulse, which is aligned with Mother Earth, because this is where you are right now, when you, as that spark, when you move through creation and you're incarnated as a physical human being, and you get this body, and then there's things going on in your body. Your body will tell you. So it's very important to listen to our bodies, and to keep coming back to that. Another thing that happened yesterday, which is kind of similar to this, is I was watching Lada's video, Astro Lada. There are not many YouTube videos that I watch, which is why I mention her a lot, because there's very few channels that I end up watching, because again, I like to get most of my information from within. Doesn't mean that you shouldn't be open to outside sources. They help, but the ones that are aligned with you. And over time, when your needs become very particular, you will align with only particular people or particular channels. There might even be very good ones out there, but you just don't have such a big need for absorbing everything. And at different phases of our life, when we're learning, when we're integrating still, that might be more appropriate to be open to different sources. But then again, always choosing what you align with from within, from how it makes you feel. So coming back to the point, Lada was talking about the fact that I'm so distracted because this music, they've suddenly made it loud. So Lada was, I've completely lost my train of thought. I guess I'll get it back. Maybe I can just show you the cafe until then, kind of what it looks like. So it's very nice. It's empty right now because it just opened, and I've come here right after my music class in the morning. Oh yes, I remembered. So Lada was talking about the fact that, about AI in one of her videos last year, which I watched recently. And she was saying that AI has these things that are good for you, things that humanity is going to use in a good way, for development, advancement. But there's also these other things that we're using with technology, like TikTok, and just our basically our shorter attention spans that we have these days. And I sing classical music, and I was talking to somebody else about how another classical musician, although she is a classical dancer and Indian classical, whereas I practice Western classical vocals, so that's what I sing. um, I'm trained in opera basically, and I perform it here in New Delhi. So we were talking about how people these days have very short attention spans, and we end up doing shorter versions of those classical pieces. So sometimes my songs, the ones that I learn with my teacher, they might be 6 minutes long or 4 minutes long. And it's a classical piece, and sometimes verses repeat but with a different variation and everything. And audiences these days don't always, or this is what we assume anyway, that they don't have the attention span to listen to the same piece, for an extended period of time. So this recital that I went to of this dancer, friend of mine, this colleague of mine, the Indian classical dancer, I went to her concert day before yesterday, and one piece that she performed, she was dancing literally for 35 minutes, like without stopping. And the in Indian classical music, where the Indian classical dance, you have singers singing live, so they're Indian classical singers singing, and you're dancing as a dancer. So both of them were performing for 35 minutes straight, and it wasn't an easy piece. It was probably the most difficult, even in terms of technique. So we were just talking about this, how audiences don't really have patience for extended things. And Lada in her video was talking about the fact that, that you need to have a little bit more patience for things like absorbing a piece of music. And this is what my dancer friend and I were talking about, that in the first verse, in the first 2 minutes, 3 minutes, your body is getting used to that rhythm, to the sound, to the words, to the feel of the piece, because music affects you. It actually, if you use it the right way, it can transform you from within. That's why we use it for meditation, to ignite certain things. So when we don't allow something to be present with us, when we see something as a positive thing, something that's beneficial for us, and we don't even have the patience to sit with it and to just be with it, to allow it to do its thing, which all of these practices are based in things like that, slower things, classical songs, meditations. So what I want to say is that, see how your heart feels, like, in order to slow down, because winter is also aligned with that, with the slowing down, with the stillness, with just being with something, with just receiving, being okay with not taking too many actions right now, just observing, noting down the ideas, inspiration that's coming to you, that's making you excited. It may not be the right time to fully go ahead with it, and maybe put some things in action to a small extent, but not like full on. So think of these things that that your soul is telling you to do, like maybe like me, you want to sing, or you want to attend a concert where it's a classical concert, for example, and you're just sitting with the music, you're meditating, all of these practices that allow you to slow down, especially if you're physically involved in them yourself, but even as an observer, somebody who's there listening, receiving, attending, like a sound bath. One thing is to play an instrument or to indulge in a spiritual practice, the other is to just receive it, be in this healing sound bath. So those are just some ideas I wanted to throw out there, because I've been having them, and it's like, my thoughts. And yeah, so I think I'm going to stop talking and not make this video super long, but let me know what you thought, what you think of this topic. I have never worn a wristwatch in my life. I've never had one, never felt the need for one. These days we even have phones. I mean, you have the timer there. But people make it a fashion statement as well, and they wear all kinds of watches, and somehow I've just never felt the need. But in the end, I do want to say that, for some people it might be more aligned at certain periods in your life. Maybe you're too spiritual, you're too out there, and you need to be more grounded, and wearing a watch perhaps brings you into scheduling yourself better, because you're too sort of out there, too what's the word, you're more about concepts and imagination, and being in the spiritual realms, whatever it is, and you need to become more grounded, and do things on time, scheduled right. So your body will tell you what the right answer is, how to combine those things that are part of society, that are not necessarily aligned in the highest way with nature. They may not be evil things, but they're not aligned with the highest way in which you can live and in which nature flows, because we're an extension of that. So your body will tell you what that is, what those things are that you can bring in a little bit, and it's fine, for you to have that human side and to have that need, and in order for you to fit in. And it's really, at the end of the day, it's about your mission. It's about your mission is that one thing leading you, that passion is that one thing leading you. And sometimes the choices we make will surprise us as well. So let your body be your guide, slow down, and it's the time to still be still and to receive. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe.